Hello everyone, welcome to Programming Cradle. Today in this video I will discuss about if I had to start learning data science all over again from scratch, how I will use Bard or ChatGPT to learn data science. Yeah, so that's exactly what I will be discussing. So we will compare both Bard and ChatGPT and see which one is giving us a better path to learn data science. And I will start with basic questions like generate a study plan, then what are the resources that I can use. Then I will also ask it to explain us some of the concepts in data science, and then also we will ask can you help us with some code. So we will be doing all those kind of things in this video. But as always, if you are new here or friends, subscribe to the channel, please go subscribe to the channel and be a part of Programming Kettle family, and also hit the bell icon so that you get notified each time when a video goes live. And if you end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. It keeps me motivated to make such videos for you guys. And if you want to have one-to-one conversation with me, you can always join channel membership and we can have discussion there. So with that being said, let's start our discussion. So the first thing that I asked Bard, so this is the Bard UI, and I asked it, can you create a study plan for me to learn data science in 6 months? So it has generated a 6 month plan, which seems pretty good. If you see here in first month, it is asking us to learn about programming. In programming specifically, you can learn about various things like variables, loops, and functions. There are a lot of other concepts, but these are some of the main ones which it suggested. After that, it is asking you to choose a programming language, which I think you should choose before starting to learn variables and loops, because they work differently in different programming language. They work in similar way, but the syntax is different. So you can use Python or R. SQL is mainly for database querying and stuff. So that is there. After that, it is asking us to find different resources to learn those programming language, whichever you have chosen. And then after that, you can start practicing the programming language. So there are a lot of different places where you can practice, like Lead Code or Code Chef. There are other platforms as well. So you can ask that particular question as well, like where can I practice programming. So it will suggest you various different platforms. In month 2, it is asking you to learn data structures and algorithms, and then you have to learn statistics, and then you have to start working on a project, which in my opinion is pretty early to start working on a project. Yes, of course you can start working on some basic data science projects, but you have just now learned programming and then some basic concepts of statistics. So I think you still need to learn a bit more about like exploratory data analysis and learning various packages. You might have learned that in Python programming or R programming, but still I think it is a bit early to start learning or start doing projects. But still, if you feel like you are well equipped enough with the skills you need to start working on Python or data science project, you can surely start doing that. The next month, which is the third month, there it is asking you to start learning machine learning, and then straight away after that deep learning, and then continue on a data science project. So after you learn machine learning and deep learning in month 3, then I think you are in a very good position to start working on a data science project. But I think to learn machine learning and deep learning in just 1 month, it is too much to ask. Yeah, if you are good enough with your learning capabilities, then surely you can do it. But I think for most people it will be hard to learn all of those things in just 1 month. So after that, in the fourth month, it is asking you to learn about data visualization, which I think you should learn before machine learning and deep learning. But according to Bard, we should learn data visualization after machine learning and deep learning. And then it is also asking you to learn big data concepts, which I think is important for a data scientist to be able to handle big data. And in the fifth month, it is asking you to start looking for a job, which you sure can. 4 months is a good time. So in that time, you can learn quite a lot of things and you can probably start looking for a job already. If you have done some projects based on Bard, you certainly have done some projects. So yes, you certainly can start looking for jobs, and the sooner you start the better, I guess. So you will have more time to find job, and in 6 months again, you need to continue to look for jobs and keep working on your projects. So this is the kind of study plan that Bard has created, and it has also given you some tips which I think are very valid points. So here the first one is keep your goals realistic. In 6 months you certainly can learn quite a lot of things, but trying to learn everything about data science in 6 months, it is going to be very hard. So you can focus on some of the basic stuff, and then you can always build upon that. So yes, I totally agree with that point. Find a mentor. A mentor can help you learn data science and provide guidance and support. So yes, that is also true. If you are able to find a very good mentor, this hardly can help you in learning data science. So obviously you can reach out to me. I can always help you with that. You can join a community. So we have a very good community here, programming cradle community. We have Telegram group, we have Discord server. You can join those. There everybody's trying to learn data science. Some people are already working in a field, some people are trying to make transition. So people are in different stages in our community, so you can join that as well. I know this is some kind of self publicity, but I will say thanks to Bart for creating this kind of tips. But yeah, you can join our community. It's a very healthy and very good community. And don't be afraid to ask for help. That is always there. If you ask for help, you will be able to speed up your learning process by quite a margin. So these are some of the tips that Bart has generated, and this was the study plan that it has generated. Now we will jump on to ChatGPT and see what type of study plan ChatGPT has generated. So I personally think the study plan which ChatGPT has generated, it is very well laid out. In first month, it is asking you to learn about introduction of data science, understand what data science is and its application. Because yes, if you want to get into data science, you need to first understand what it is. You need to understand the various life cycles like data collection, data cleaning, data visualization, data manipulation, predictive modeling, and things like that. And here it is asking you to learn Python programming. It is not giving you options like R and SQL, which in my opinion, as a beginner, I think it is better, because as a beginner you don't know which programming language to pick. And from my personal experience, I can tell you that in industry Python is being used quite often, and this is the most popular programming language. So you won't go wrong if you start learning programming, Python programming. So yes, I totally agree with this, and this way you will not have to research which programming language is good. And of course, if you want to research whether you should go for R or Python, you can always ask these questions to Bard or ChatGPT. They will help you understand which programming language is better. Now in first week you learned about basics of Python. So for some people 1 week is going to be less time to learn Python programming. Yes, you will have to invest quite a lot of time. So I think it should be fine. You will be able to learn about the syntax, but yes, you will not be very comfortable in Python programming. But that's all right. When you go through this whole study plan, you will be able to pick up things here and there. In week 2 and 3 you should focus on mathematics. So they have also told you which concepts you need to focus on. So statistics, probability, linear algebra, and calculus. So yes, that is the backbone of data science. After that, in week 4 you need to start working on data manipulation. So for data manipulation you can use various packages like pandas and numpy. So I think this is a very good first month plan in my opinion, where you can learn Python programming, you can brush up on your mathematical concepts, and then you can also look into some of the Python packages like pandas and numpy. In second month you can start working on your data visualization. So for first 2 weeks you will be learning matplotlib and seaborn. So the good thing about ChatGPT is it is also suggesting you which packages you need to learn. So matplotlib and seaborn are predominantly used in data visualization in data science. So yeah, that is there. And also it is suggesting you pandas and numpy. So you will not have to search for like what all tools you can use. It has already mentioned all those tools, so you can always use these. In week 3 and 4 you can learn about exploratory data analysis. So in this you will learn about data profiling, correlation, missing value handling. There are a lot of other things like outlier detection and things like that. So but it is also giving you an outline of what things to learn, and I think this is a very good breakdown of it. In month 3 you can start learning machine learning. And in machine learning there are different types of algorithms like supervised and unsupervised. And then you can, it is also giving you some of the examples like linear regression, decision tree, random forest, and clustering algorithms. So that's good. But if you are going to follow a course or a learning material, there you will anyways going to be learning about a lot of other machine learning algorithms as well. In week 3 and week 4 you will learn about model evaluation and validation, which is very important because if you're training a model, it's very important for you to know how to evaluate that model, whether it is performing good or not. So that's again something very important. In month 4, week 1 and 2, you can start learning about feature engineering, because when you take any data, it is not always in a proper format. You will sometimes have to scale them, normalize them, and then you might be having like lot of features in your data set, so you'll have to figure out which features are important and which features are not. So that is again something very important. So you will learn about feature selection. And week 3 and week 4, you will learn some advanced tools or algorithms from machine learning side, such as gradient descent, regularization, SVM, principal component analysis, and neural networks. So this is a very good structure to follow, I guess. And in month 5, you will learn about big data and cloud computing, because nowadays you know that most of the companies are moving towards cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Funny enough that ChatGPT is now part of Microsoft, or Microsoft is using ChatGPT quite a lot, but they have not mentioned Azure here. But yeah, that is that is a completely different thing. In week 3 and 4, you can learn about data engineering, like how you can design your data pipeline, how you can handle your data ingestion and data transformation. So month 5 is revolving all around how to handle large amount of data. Now for month 6, you will be learning about deep learning, and week 1, week 2 of month 6, you will be learning various concepts like convolution neural network, recurrent neural network, and transfer learning, which are very important in deep learning. There are now very advanced concepts like transformers and stuff, but I think it is very important to first understand these basic concepts from deep learning. Yes, they are advanced techniques, but now that with advancement in deep learning side, I would say these are the basic building blocks. First you need to understand these and then move on to other concepts. After this, in 6 months, you will be able to learn almost everything, and now you are in a good position to start working on a capstone project. The capstone project could be anything. You can pick up a data from Kaggle, you can start doing exploratory analysis on that, you can build a predictive model, you can train a deep learning model as well. So those kind of things. And with this project, you should be good enough to uh, say that yes, you know majority of the concepts from data science field. So I think this is a much better study plan than what Bard has generated, but it's totally up to you which type of study plan do you like. Bard's study plan is very much like you should start working on projects from very initial stages, whereas in ChatGPT side, you first need to learn a lot of things and then you can start working on project. So these are the two different approaches, but I think both are valid ones. It totally depends on what type of learning process you like to follow. Now, after that, I asked the question like, can you suggest some resources where I can learn these concepts? So first we'll see the answer of ChatGPT, because we are already in ChatGPT interface. So the first thing is online courses and tutorials. The first thing is DataCamp, Coursera, EDX, Kaggle, Udacity. So these are some of the platforms which I totally agree are very good platforms where you can take courses. You can download dataset from Kaggle. You can take free courses from Coursera and EDX. I think DataCamp also has some sort of free course there. I think it is a part of course, but if you want to move on to some advanced topic, you will have to pay. But yeah, these are the good resources which you can follow. But if you are a person who likes to read books and if you like to learn from books, these are some of the good books that you can follow. So Python for data analysis, there you can learn almost everything about Python that you need for data analysis and data science. Then if you want to learn about machine learning, hands-on machine learning with sklearn, keras, and TensorFlow, again it's a very good book to learn about various machine learning concepts. Data science from scratch is again a very good book. So these are some of the very good books which you can follow. There are some other websites like Towards Data Science, KD Nuggets, and DataQuest. So these are some of the websites and blogs where you can follow some learning materials. So this is a very good structured way of giving you resources. Now let's move on to Bard. So here again you can see similar kind of platforms: Coursera, Udemy, EDX. Okay, so Udemy was not there in ChatGPT side, but again, Udemy is also a platform where if you are just starting out in data science, it's a great place to find affordable courses there, and you can learn a lot about basics and foundations of data science. So yeah, those are some of the very good platforms. Again, if you want to follow Python, you can take Python for data science. If you want to follow R, you can take R for data science. And data science for business, it will again give you a very good idea about how you can use data science to enhance the business. You can also join bootcamp. So there was no option of bootcamp in ChatGPT, but now Bard is suggesting you can take some bootcamps. Now you can join various communities. Stack Overflow, if you start coding, I think you can't go a day without Stack Overflow. So yes, you will get to know Stack Overflow quite soon. Reddit is a great place to read about various concepts and learning material. GitHub is again a very good place where you can find some good project repositories which you can download, you can look into, you can see how a particular project work, what type of process you need to follow. So again, GitHub is a very good platform. And personal projects are always good, so it's always good to learn by doing. So that's probably the basic idea for Bard. So that's why it is suggesting you personal projects, which I think is good. So you can do some of the personal project. After that, I asked Bard and ChatGPT which Python concepts should I learn for data science. So they have given you some outlines. So the first thing it is talking about is data types, variables, operators, control flow statements like if else, functions, modules, data structures like list, dictionary, sets, how to implement an algorithm, because when you do various kind of data manipulation, you need to be able to develop different kind of algorithms. So yes, you need to learn how to build logic. Then machine learning and data visualization, those are the two things which I think are not really a part of Python programming. So they are different concepts in their own way. So yeah, that's there. Now I'll go to ChatGPT and show you what type of response it has generated. So ChatGPT suggests to you first you need to learn about basic fundamentals of Python programming like data type, variables, loops, conditionals, functions, and object-oriented programming. So similar kind of things which Bard has suggested. You might say that Bard didn't ask us to learn about object-oriented programming, which is fine. In initial stages, you don't really need to learn object-oriented programming, but it's always good to know different pillars and concepts of object-oriented programming. After that, ChatGPT asks you to learn different packages, and I think these are the main packages. So if I start doing a data science project, I always import these packages no matter what. So yes, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, sklearn for machine learning, TensorFlow, PyTorch for deep learning. So yes, these are some of the packages you need to know if you are learning Python. After that, I asked ChatGPT to explain me random forest classifier working using an analogy. So let's say you are in your month 3 or 4. Now you have learned Python, you have learned mathematical concepts. Now you are getting into those machine learning algorithms. So you are trying to follow a tutorial, but let's say you are not able to understand how random forest works, and you feel like, I personally like to teach using analogy. So it makes it very easy for students to learn about a particular algorithm or a concept. So let's say you feel like if you can find a resource where analogy is being used to teach you a particular algorithm. So let's say you are finding it hard to learn about random forest, you asked it to use analogy. It has done a very good job here, I would say. Imagine so I will just read it for you, or you can just pause the video here and you can read it yourself. So what it has done, I will just explain you briefly. So it is asking you to imagine that you are running a business and you want to understand which products are going to be very popular among your customers. So you asked your employees to give their opinion. So you divided your employees into several groups and you asked each group to vote for various products. And after their voting, you took the majority vote, and based on that you made your decision that okay, this particular product is going to be the most popular one. And that is exactly what random forest does. And it has also explained you a very good scenario here is that some of your employees might be expert in various domains, so you might want to give more weight to those employees opinion, and that's how random forest can assign some weight to various other features. So yes, that was a very good analogy given by ChatGPT, and I really liked it, and I was able to understand what a random forest is. Now, if we go to Bard, it has again generated a very good response here. I really liked Bard's response as well. So here it is asking you to imagine that you are in a supermarket and you want to buy fruits, but you don't know which fruit to buy. So apple, mango, apple, banana, or orange, I guess it was orange. Yeah. So you asked your friends which fruit to buy. So some of your friends said apple, some of your friends said banana, some of your friends said oranges. And based on that, you took the majority vote and you decided to buy apples. So that way you can understand how random forest works. Here it has not given that weight concept, so that is there, but again I still think this is a good analogy and you should be able to understand how random forest work. And similarly, you can ask for any other algorithm, you can ask for any other concept. So I personally think it's a very good way to learn a various different concepts. After that, now let's say we are working on a project or we are just trying to implement random forest classifier in Python environment. So you can always ask Bard or ChatGPT to generate a code for you so that you can understand how the code works and what all things you need to include. So this is a very basic code snippet. You might also want to use um, cross validation and parameter optimization, things like that, but this is a very basic flow. So first time if you're writing or if you want to train a random forest classifier, you can use this code and it should be fine. One thing I can notice is it is using train test split, but it has not imported. So if you just copy this code and if you run it in your environment, it will throw an error. So you will have to fix that. And if you are a very beginner, you might want to Google, or you can simply just ask Bard that you have not imported, or you can just copy the error and you can paste it here and you can say that I am getting this error in this particular line. Can you tell what is the issue with that? So it will rewrite the code and it will give you the updated one, and that way you will be able to fix your error. So that's there. But one thing that I have noticed, Bard is not as good as ChatGPT in terms of keeping track of the conversation. I will talk about it more at the end of this particular video, but yeah, for now let's move on to ChatGPT and see the kind of code it has generated. So here you can see that it has imported all the packages quite nicely. Bard is trying to import a data. So if you have a data, you can just specify the path of your data here and you can use this particular code. It will work on your data. You can also mention here what field you want to predict, which will be your target. And as for ChatGPT, it is using iris datasets and it is importing this data from sklearn, and it is also importing all the relevant packages that you need. And yeah, you can simply just copy this code snippet and you can run in any environment and it should work just fine. So yeah, these were the things which I asked ChatGPT and Bard to help me with. So I tried covering all the various methods, like it is also generating code, it is also explaining you the concept, it is also helping you with the framework that you can follow to learn data science, all those kind of concepts. So the thing which I was talking about is ChatGPT can remember or keep the flow of the conversation much more like a human person. So human person won't forget in just 5-6 minutes or in one session that what you were talking about. Whereas if I go to Bard and if I ask it, I want to learn data science, it will tell you, okay, fine. It will tell you what data science is. Then you will be like, I want to learn programming. How can I learn programming? In that case, it will suggest you Python programming, it will suggest you Java programming, which in my opinion, you don't really need to learn about Java programming. And if it was able to keep track of previous conversation, it wouldn't suggest you Java programming. So that's it. I think it is still in development, and I think it is relatively new as compared to ChatGPT. So you can still see here it is in experimental phase. So it is still trying to improve, which I think after a few iteration it will be able to do better job. So that's there. But one thing is, Bard is much more up to date, so it can access data which is there on internet from recent times, whereas ChatGPT is trained on old data. So that is something you need to consider. I would suggest you to have a play around both of these tools and see which one works best for you. I personally like to use both of these. They both have their own advantages and disadvantages. So yeah, that is there. Yeah, this is what I wanted to discuss in this video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like, and also subscribe to the channel. When you start learning data science, you might not want to set up everything on your own. You can use various online platforms like Google Colab. So you can watch this particular video to learn more about Google Colab. So see you in the next video. Happy learning.